AITA for ruining my best friend's dream proposal by thinking she was kidnapped. My best friend, Emily, 29F, has been dating her boyfriend, Chris, 31M, for about 4 years now. I, 28F, have been friends with Emily for a long time, and I absolutely adore her. We've been through thick and thin together. We support each other through all of life's ups and downs. Emily and Chris's relationship is one that I've always supported, even though Chris has some eccentric quirks. He's a bit of a romantic, and I mean that in the sense that he loves surprises and grand gestures. We're talking flash mobs, scavenger hunts, you name it. And to be honest, I never really minded. It's just part of who he is. Emily loves it too, for the most part. She's always dreamed of an over-the-top proposal, the kind of thing you see in the movies. Something dramatic, something unforgettable. She's always said she wanted her proposal to be a real wow moment. Last weekend, I went to visit Emily. We hadn't seen each other in a while, and it was one of those rare moments when we had some free time to just catch up. I was really excited about it. We decided to go for a walk around the city, just the two of us like we used to do back in the day when we had no responsibilities and no one to worry about but ourselves. We were strolling down this quiet street, chatting and laughing, reminiscing about old times. Everything felt normal. Everything felt safe. Out of nowhere, a white van pulled up next to us. It was unmarked. I didn't think much of it first, but then the doors slammed open, and two men wearing masks jumped out. I froze for a second, not knowing what was happening. Then they grabbed Emily. She screamed so loudly, I almost couldn't process it. It sounded like something straight out of a horror movie. One of the men was pulling her into the van, while the other was trying to hold her down. It all happened so fast that I couldn't even understand what was going on. My heart was pounding in my chest, and my brain was on overdrive. I couldn't make sense of it, but all I knew in that moment was that my best friend was in serious danger. I know this sounds dramatic, but I honestly thought she was being kidnapped. The whole thing felt so real. Emily's screams rang in my ears, and she was visibly struggling. I couldn't think straight. I couldn't breathe. Everything went black for a second, and then my body just went into autopilot. I carry pepper spray with me for safety. I've always been a little cautious, but I've never had to use it before. Well, that day it became the most useful thing I've ever had on me. I didn't even think. I just grabbed it, pulled it out, and sprayed the guy closest to me right in the face. He immediately started screaming and stumbling backward, clutching his eyes. It didn't even matter to me that I could have hurt him. What mattered was getting Emily out of that situation. The second guy was still trying to drag her into the van, but I wasn't having it. I kicked him as hard as I could in the shin. I honestly don't even know how hard I kicked him, but it must have been pretty painful because he let go of Emily and backed off a few steps. Then, I grabbed Emily by the coat and yanked her away from the van. I pulled her with all the strength I had, and I kept screaming for help. I yelled for 911 for anyone, to come help. I didn't know what else to do. It all felt like a blur of panic and adrenaline. I didn't care about anything else. My focus was on getting Emily out of that situation. She was still crying, still trying to get away from the two men, but I was determined. I wasn't going to let her be taken. I just kept pulling and shouting. The whole world felt like it was spinning out of control. I remember feeling like my legs were going to give out beneath me from the sheer weight of everything happening at once. But then, as I was pulling her back, the situation took an unexpected turn. The men stopped trying to fight me off. They stopped trying to grab Emily. One of them was still holding his face, but the other one suddenly started yelling at me to stop. At first, I thought maybe they had some kind of weapon or backup, and that was when the real fear kicked in. But then I heard it. Stop. This is all part of the plan. It's just a prank. I froze. I could barely process what I was hearing. A prank. I said out loud, confused. Yes, the guy yelled, still rubbing his eyes. It's a surprise proposal. We're trying to propose to her, you idiot. My head was spinning, and my heart felt like it was going to explode. Emily was still crying, still shaking, and I was just standing there in disbelief. This couldn't be real, could it? They were all lying to me, right? But as my brain slowly started catching up, I realized Chris, the guy in the van, was the one yelling. Chris, Emily's boyfriend, the man I'd known for years. Chris, I said, my voice shaking. This was your idea? He was standing there, tears streaming down his face, looking absolutely furious and panicked at the same time. You ruined everything. I was trying to propose to her. I spent months planning this, and you ruined it. I was still standing there in shock. I didn't know what to say. I wanted to apologize, but I also felt so wronged. This was insane. The whole situation felt so wrong. It felt like I had just been duped into thinking that something awful was happening. Emily was still crying. It It was clear she was confused, upset, and maybe even scared. This was not the romantic proposal she had imagined. I was sure of it. Before I could say anything else, the cops showed up. I was still trying to process everything when they started asking what happened. Chris and his friends explained the situation, but I could tell they weren't happy with me. The officers looked at me like I was the one who had messed up. They didn't seem thrilled about the whole prank either, but it wasn't like they could arrest anyone. It was just a mess. Now, here's the thing. I genuinely thought I was protecting my best friend. In the moment, it didn't matter to me whether it was a proposal or not. All that mattered was that I thought Emily was being kidnapped. She was screaming, they were wearing masks, and there was a freaking van. That's what I saw. That's what my brain processed. It never occurred to me that someone would actually think this was a good way to propose. Since that day, things have been weird. Chris is beyond angry. He's saying that I ruined the most important moment of his life. He's saying I embarrassed him in front of his friends. He's saying I've ruined their future together. Emily is, well, she's caught between understanding why I reacted the way I did, but also feeling like I should have figured it out. She's upset that I didn't let her in on the surprise. But honestly, how could I have known? How was I supposed to know this was all just a setup for a movie-like proposal? I'm still shaking from the whole thing. I acted on pure instinct. I thought my best friend's life was in danger. And now, I feel like everyone is blaming me for overreacting. I don't know what to do. So, Reddit, AITA for ruining the proposal. TLDR, my best friend's boyfriend planned a fake kidnapping as part of his proposal, but I thought she was actually being kidnapped and freaked out. I pepper sprayed one of the guys and dragged her away, ruining the surprise. Now everyone's mad at me. AITA,